everybody had a great day. Let's talk a little bit about DR today. This was not a DR trade day for me. Um, had a full day at work, but was talking to some of the folks in groups that I belong to, kind of about how we would have played DR today. And honestly, we'll go through this in a second, but I would have gotten stopped out pretty quickly with DR today, and probably would not have made another trade, just kind of how the market moved. So let's talk about it real quick. Um, Key thing here, and I mentioned this in my previous video, I did not like the range yesterday, even though it ended up working out really, really well. Um, Definitely did not like that range was about 13 points. Today was only like 10 points on this range. So again, my fear there is always that there's not enough room for price to maneuver inside this small range, right? So it's always easy to get, kind of move to the other side of the DR and then becomes a false day. The other thing I did not like this morning on the setup was if you look at the high side, there was no gap between IDR high and DR high. It was really the same line, which meant the the candle here, the wick, and the body of these candles were at the same level. So again, there's no room there to maneuver. So I did not like that. But let's talk through it really quick. DR forms 1030 again, 10-point range, not great. Um, Comes down and it does actually confirm low here. All right, and then next candle starts to move back up. Comes down and move back up on that green candle. Same thing here. Now, if you notice here, it actually does cross over the IDR line. Okay, so at this point, if I was trading this, I would have actually put my target or my um, order at this IDR low line, and my stop would have been like 2 ticks below. I'm sorry, it would have been probably up here because it's only a 3 point, 4 point range. So my stop would have been up here on this white line, which is the point 0.5 fib. The next rung on the ladder. Um, and then my profit target would have been 5 points down here. So you can tell really quickly that this candle, the one red candle we had, price came down a little bit. I think that was like 2 points if I would have, well, I did 2 or 3 points. But then it just turned back around and went back up. So I would have gotten stopped out, up here. So it would have been probably a 5 point loss. I didn't do all the number calculations because, again, I wasn't really trading it. I was kind of eyeballing it. And so price comes back down again, doesn't get down back below DR at all, turns back around, comes up here. And at this point, this becomes a false DR day, which means because if you notice here, the candle's closed above the combination IDR, DR high. So at this point, this becomes one of those 12% days where it doesn't follow the rules of once it confirms one direction, it shouldn't take out the other direction. And like I said yesterday, it didn't do that. It actually went up and it had a really nice retirement setup off of it. But in this case, it confirmed high, so it's the false day. Now, if the price does decide to go back up, so there actually is a trade here. If you want to just take a chance on it, you could have traded right back here to 0.5 fib with a bullish trade and rode that up. There's 5 points there. There's probably 10 points in there somewhere. It went up probably up another like 10 points from this line here. So. But again, that's not the rules, right? So the rule is once it confirms low, I'm expecting it to come back low. And this is the thing why I want to make this video is this is not going to work every single day. Majority of times it will, but again, in this case, price it didn't work out the way it initially confirmed. But with this such a small range, that's not surprising, not to me anyway. So didn't take any trades here. There weren't even like any fair value gaps here to jump in on. It was just it was just one of those days for me that there was one small one here you probably could have played, but at that point I wasn't really that interested. So like I said, I had a busy day anyway, so I wasn't really paying attention to the market, just glancing at it every once in a while and just kind of mentally trading it. So I know there are some folks that did trade this and had a good day, not necessarily from a DR standpoint, but like I said, for me as how I do the DR strategy with my ladders and my 1, 2, 3s, this just didn't work out for me today. So if you want to see small range workout, look at the previous video, the 410 video, because that one kind of surprised me yesterday as far as like how well it conformed to the rules and gave us some good trades. But again, hopefully this was helpful. If you were struggling today, don't feel bad. Again, this was not a great data. It just wasn't a good DR day. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We have CPI tomorrow, so that's always fun. The nice part about DR is you can stay out of all that chaos, right, at 8:30, and let the market settle back down, and then get your range for DR. So that's the part I do like about it. No stress at the 8:30 candle to figure out what's going to happen. Just wait and let it set itself up and it play out that way. All right, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, just wanted to show that it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes you just got to take the loss, right? So that's part of trading and part of growing. All right. Everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you later.